Yo,
Yo,
what's
yo.
up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Game Changers podcast. I got Gnome G in the building. We want to
What's
talk
going on?
about the Diddy trial reaction. What did you think about it? Do you think it was a win for Diddy? Do you think it was a loss for the government? Did it look bad in either side? I know Diddy was happy afterwards, but what
Yeah,
did you think about it, Mo?
I guess to me it was like basically it was a loss for the government essentially because they basically brought him in on a RICO, and that was the main thing they were trying to get him on. And obviously they couldn't prove that he was running a criminal organization to uh and sex traffic people to his parties. So they obviously hit him with the
Prostitution.
the transporting of prostitutes
Hmm.
because essentially they couldn't prove that he was actually, you know, setting up.
Some bullshit. Some
Yeah,
bullshit.
they
But
wanted to pack. Yeah, they wanted.
sex trafficking by force, fraud, and coercion. I think the DA really overcharged them, just trying to make sensationalize the story and kind of gain publicity and stuff. So I think they like hit them with everything. And I know before this, a couple of those charges had got thrown out prior to the verdict. But yeah, this was a witch hunt.
Yeah,
It just put out a lot of his business, and a lot of uh the inner workings of how celebrity relationships and this and that. We hear rumors, but it gave you a little look into what really going on with these people.
yeah.
But
They we kind of see that and there was obviously things that were going on with Puff before he ended up uh indicted and charged with these charges or not or was under these placed under these charges or whatnot and
mm,
locked up for him. He had the whole thing going on with Ciroc and there were and him basically playing the middleman to Ciroc, promoting for them and making a lot of money over the years, but he wanted a bigger piece of Ciroc. So there's a lot of people feeling like he had the people that he was dealing with, uh, you know,
yeah,
did
that's
some
kind of
shit, did
going
some
under the radar.
doing some shady things in the background to have Puff in this situation. Obviously, those things have to be proven, but with a lot of
That is.
celebrities, especially
Mm-hmm.
black celebrities, it seems they end up running into these type of situations the farther they want to move up the totem pole. And I
Oh
think
yeah.
Puff may have been in one of those situations. So he eventually gets ousted for these crazy parties that he's been known to have over the last 25 years in Hollywood. But the problem with it is when you're trying to charge somebody like that with sex trafficking and putting a RICO case on them like that, there's a lot of other people involved that
Yeah.
you're gonna have to name by name when you trying to say that this man had a criminal operation going. It just wasn't him at his own parties. There
Yeah.
were a lot of people that are affluent people in Hollywood that are household names that were going to these parties and willingly going to his parties. But it seemed that when he got locked up, uh, these people disappeared. I think Kanye West was the only person to appear to really give
His
their
support.
support to him,
Mm-hmm.
and they didn't
Mm-hmm.
even let the man all the way into the courtroom. I guess when he did go for the trial and show support, they put him in like a corner back room type
Yeah.
situation.
That was
So,
crazy.
so I mean, yeah. So that's the other part about him being indicted or getting indicted is like, as the public, we're sitting back and you're like, well, yeah, he probably should if he's really doing these things or whatever. But aren't there other people involved? I feel like
And
they had
those
to
are all
really
those people you had to give immunity to, because that's what
right.
Cassie got, right? and that was
Exactly.
just in order for to give her testimony. And what did her testimony really do? You know, it just showed that they was in a freaky relationship, but did her testimony prove a racketeering conspiracy? Fuck no.
Exactly. Did he did prove that this was a criminal organization that Puff was running with a front of music and a lavish lifestyle that was funded by the entertainment business and alcohol? Like, no, really, he was making his money legitly. It seems like to me, you know what I mean. But it seems as if what he was doing in the bedroom may be a little over the top. But I mean, he has the right to do what he wants to do in America when it comes to those certain things. So you can't really indict him for that. And you're not
Yeah,
bringing anybody else up. You're bringing a few of the people that participated that got flew out. Some of the male prostitutes that got flew out, they came and they gave their testimony, but they were just telling about how they were the sex acts they were performing for Puff. They weren't necessarily going into any type of criminal aspects or saying that
yeah.
they were forced, they were paid, which is what one of the things he's getting charged for, right?
Hmm.
But he did not forcibly tell these people or had minors or anybody that was like unwillingly wanting to be at these functions that he was throwing. These freak offs that they're labeling them that they were. None of these people were under their free will. They went there and they did what they wanted to do.
I
Now,
mean, yeah, I think you touched on a big point where you're saying the further you go up with some of these black moguls, you know, the further you want to go up and the more you want to diversify and go into higher realms of different businesses is where you kind of come into a little resistance, you know,
mm,
and it's always, you know, out of the blue. Because man, right before this hit, you remember Puff? Puff has been the hip hop mascot for 15, 20 years now.
yeah, a
So,
long
you
time.
know, with him and Snoop, between him and Snoop, it's like, you know, those are people are synonymous with hip hop, not really making music anymore, but just, you know, the culture. You know, P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, uh always has been a little weird, always has been a little gay, like,
Mm,
you know, and to
mm,
hear some of the graphic nature of this, just bro, it's another, it's kind of
mm,
sickening. It really
mm,
is. Like, P Diddy,
mm,
you that I
yeah,
never would have thought, just looking at you, dude. You first off, you know, your hair being black. We didn't even think about it like that until, you know, this trial, and now you're going great because of course you don't have your dyeing products or whatnot. But
yeah,
man, it's shocking how old you look. You know,
yeah.
and we
I
forget
mean,
he's 55 years old.
yeah, he's not a young man, but when you have a lot of money and you have a lot of resources, you can upkeep and keep yourself right. But obviously, he's stressing. He's going through a trial. He can't, keep the image rolling like
Yeah,
he may want to, and that's obviously uh, uh, that's a slip by him by thinking that because the thing about Puff, I believe, he, like we're saying, moving up that totem pole, he knows how the industry works.
mm,
And when you get too comfortable, he just too comfortable when you really look back and think of it. Because when you're doing these things that he was doing,
profile, the
yeah,
highest profile.
yeah, like, and and when you really run a lot of his clips back, that obviously get taken out of context a lot of times because they're quick clips. It's the internet. People can put stuff up, and it's like, okay, what's the context of that? But Puff got so many, just like, hold on.
Hmm.
He has so many of those, that so many clips that they done put up. Like, hold on, Puff, you really just said that, or you just did that.
Yeah,
He did so many of those type of things so comfortably with no problem. It's like he kind of, that's where they tell you when you start touching a certain type of money and status, you lose track of reality. And I
and do
think,
you remember? Let's go back. Let's go back a little bit, because
mm,
he did lose touch with reality a long time ago. Because what
mm,
about on the show, the band had them folks walking all the way to another borough for some damn cheesecake. What
Yeah,
about that? Like he had lost touch with reality a long time ago. That nigga was
a
wild.
long time ago. But when you're, this is before social media. This is
Yeah,
before when people could take 7, 8 clips, 10 clips, or whatever, 100 clips of an episode of a show, cut them
yeah,
up, put them on the internet, and people run it back, and then they're like, "Oh, this is kind of wild." You could only see it, you
yeah,
could only see it in real time, or if the network want to run back the show.
yeah,
Before what, 2009, 2010. But once the social media aspect came into it, you could actually do some studying. You can actually sit back, YouTube. You can actually run it back and be like, hold on,
yeah,
y'all just peep what he just did or peep what he just said. But once again, that's why he was so comfortable, because we were in a time where you didn't really sit back and really check. You just, oh, he's just wild. He's just a little crazy. But then when
yeah,
you actually sit back and you analyze it, these things were out of pocket. You
yeah.
know what
Way
I'm
out of
saying?
pocket.
You know what I'm saying?
it's just, it's
these
like a running joke in hip hop. It was like you're right. It just was at the right time in history where it wasn't the social media age. Because just remember what social media did to Young Jock or
mm,
somebody. You know what I'm saying? Just by somebody thinking, seeing him driving an Uber or nigga saying, ain't going, I don't want to go broke like Young Jock.
yeah.
Those things, damn near took on a life of their own on the internet. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So
Hmm.
Tough doing that before the age of the internet, just the true age of the internet. Yeah, he really lucky. He got away with a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
He really
Yeah.
did.
And
But
that's
can we
what
go ahead? My bad.
Yeah, no, but that's what build up to something like this happening is, these people having so much stuff on you that may not really want you, and I'm talking in the context of the
Mhm.
the liquor situation that he had, or
Mhm.
people,
Mhm.
or just people that he may had upset, like Cassie, who
Yeah.
wanted to, get something out of him for all the stuff that they had went with him personally. You
Mhm.
had all these certain things built up. You had that tape because you're so comfortable. You feel like you had that tape. You just run down the hall, you grab her by her hair and pull her back. You know what I'm
Man,
saying?
what if somebody was checking in at that moment? What if a family was getting off the elevator at that time? What if, you
Right,
know what I'm saying? It
right.
just so happened that we didn't see anybody else in there. Did he buy out that whole floor?
Right.
Who knows? But
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to mention uh that damn Brian Steele, the lawyer who got beat two Ricos. Basically, kind of, sort of. With Young Thug, I mean, I kind of look at it as a loss for Thug because that is a long time, 15 years. But I mean, hey, you at home. But he beat a Rico. He beat a Rico with Diddy for sure. Brian
Yeah.
Steele, the legal counsel to the
Yeah.
stars.
He's the modern day Johnny Cochran in a lot of sense that now
Mm-hmm.
everybody's gonna ring his phone because he's did some blockbuster trials and won.
Mm-hmm.
So
For sure.
now all these high established people are going to be ringing that phone trying to, get his services because, like you said, uh, before we got on the live, that, people don't beat those Ricos. And,
Nah.
people don't beat those Ricos. So it's like,
And
you get,
and look at Brian Steele off the clock. Let's look at him off the clock. Check out his swag. Check out
yeah,
that boy's swag off the clock.
he got the spider gear on, the thug gear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And
he
dude,
fuck with the colors. Let's just say.
yeah, yeah, yeah. He's gonna get all the high profile black folks and that want to
Yeah.
do business with him that might have run into a little trouble. You know
Hmm.
they're probably
But
gonna
yeah,
hit him up.
he damn near worth it. He worth it because Diddy, this was, man, he was on trial for his life.
Yeah,
His life. Both of these guys actually, Thug
yeah,
and Diddy, on trial for
yeah.
their life. I still think Thug could have beat that. I still think Thug could have beat it, but because they really didn't have much on him as we saw the trial go along. Same,
Hmm.
same case with Diddy. They really didn't have too much, man. It just it was interesting. A lot of money. There was a big money trial, a lot of attention, a lot of what I'm saying, news spun off of this trial. Kanye showing up, that sparked news, of course. It was just a lot with this
Oh yeah,
whole
that
thing.
and you have a lot of people that were making a lot of money saying Puff was gonna go away and off their YouTubes and stuff of that nature, like
Everybody
that
was saying that.
bodyguard Gene Deal.
Yep.
He was saying a lot of stuff about Puff and this, that, and about Puff, and and now Puff
It
has
was
a
a, it
chance
was
to
a lot
to
of
walk,
them. Yeah.
but he's
Gene
not
looked
gonna
like a
really.
big doo doo. He looked dumb as hell now. Cause
you
nigga, why you
know,
ain't say none of that shit when you was around? And then why you didn't call the folks if something was going on?
yeah,
If
but
you wanted to tell so much.
yeah, but that's the thing about the age we're living in. It's dope that we can get online and people can say their opinions about stuff, but it's kind of like you got to stay into it. You got to make sure you're staying in the right lines, because even somebody like Tasha K, she got took
Yep.
to court by Cardi B because she said some out of pocket things, and
Yeah.
now she got to pay up.
And she knew
So
she was lying the whole time. She knew she was lying.
so it's like, somebody like Gene, like, yeah, you were there with Puff. You were there with Biggie, and obviously you want to come on YouTube and do your thing, then do your thing. But it's kind of like you got to be careful. You don't want to, you want to
Incriminate
be able,
yourself while trying to out him.
right. You want to be careful with it. You want to be smart with it. You don't want to be too wild with your statements. But that's what a
Yeah.
lot of people did with Puff, because most of the public opinion felt that he was done as soon as the charges came out, as soon as the whole headlines hit the internet, like, oh, it's over. But obviously, in the judicial system, you got to let it play out, especially like somebody like Puff that has a pocketbook like that. We're not talking about somebody who broke. We're talking about somebody that has a vast amount of money compared to the majority of people in the world. So he was ready to go in and fight,
Oh
and
yeah.
obviously he's probably in the best situation he could ever possibly be in. His so I guess we're gonna see what these next 3 months bring, and see what happens in October with the sentencing.
But I
Me,
also heard he has the civil about what they say 4 dozen. What is 4 dozen? That's 60, ain't it? 60
Ooh.
civil cases to fight.
Yeah, man,
So
that's a lot.
you
And who
know
knows how
you're
long
gonna
that
open the
might go on.
floodgates.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And I mean, and that's the thing, you can only spend so much money, you know. It's like, I guess everybody that has a so-called case is gonna have to have enough money to
Hmm.
fight him in court. That's the thing. You're gonna have to have enough evidence, and you're gonna have to be established enough with that money to really try to win one of them civil cases even. But
Cause
still,
you see how
that's
he coming with his legal defense.
yeah, he's not playing. He's coming for real with it. So it's like, a lot of these people are just a lot of. I would take it. A lot of these people are coming from just the past that worked with him before, or ex-employees. Maybe some ex uh freak off participants. You know
Yeah, but you got to out yourself in order to out him, though. So
exactly,
you
and you're
know,
not gonna be able to build. How many of these people are really gonna be able to build a bigger case? She had immunity, so she is involved like Puff. So, like you
yeah,
said,
Cassie.
the majority of these
Yeah,
other people, you know,
go ahead.
like you said, the majority of these other people are gonna have to out themselves as well. You
Yeah,
know,
and that's gonna get real messy. And like you said, you got to have a bag too to even bring all of this. Bring legal representation that's even on par with what he bringing. So,
yeah, and
or a lot of these guys are gonna get together and do a class action lawsuit or something, and just get a lawyer
because I'm
together.
pretty sure Puff. I'm pretty sure Puff. He still has assets he can liquidate. You know, he
Oh,
still
yeah,
has, he still has stuff that he can liquidate if he needs to fight. He still has, I'm pretty sure he has money off the book somewhere tucked that
for
ain't
sure.
even tucked. You know what I'm saying? Like, he can tell his
Probably
kids,
in his
look,
son's names. Well,
Right.
you know, he got ways, and I would hope because he knew, he did know this was coming. We saw Puff come out, try to get ahead of it when the video first dropped, and he was saying that he was getting help, and he was trying to get ahead of the whole thing. So I think he probably did know something, and he would probably put some stuff in place to where he moved some money around because it
Mhm.
would just make sense.
Right. Right. Yeah. So I'm still like I'm I'm not gonna say I'm that surprised because of, like I was saying before, they and like most people that were watching the case, they didn't really have anything with this Rico to really put him away off of
Hell
that.
no.
So I'm not super surprised about that, but it's still just as kind of shocking that he only got down to those two charges really, and he actually has a chance to walk. Just seeing it because of how much they try to really ruin him in the media. No matter what he's doing and how freaky he is, and obviously he's done some crazy stuff. Don't get me wrong. I don't
Hmm.
think obviously his public image is never going to bounce back the way it is. I think the only reason why he might have a little pocket is because of the LGBTQ community type thing. But the problem is nobody looked at him like he was a part of that community until now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that's the thing. Like you look like you're a part of that community now because of what you've been outed, what you basically been outed as. You know. So I don't know, man. It's just it's
It's a mess. It's a
it's a
mess.
yeah, it's a mess for Puff, and if he gets out, I think he'll still find a lane to make money because he's been doing it for so long. But and somebody will work with him because of who he is, and they think they can still get to some type of celebrity because his celebrity so big. Because that's one thing when speaking on his celebrity, these fools is outside of the courtroom pouring baby oil on themselves.
No, man.
Yes. People was outside of the courtroom pouring baby oil on themselves because of the sentencing
I
or the
saw I saw his son's reaction. One of them, it was real turned up, and he was happy that he was saying kept saying his dad coming home. But
mhm.
I guess at this point, like you said, the sentencing October 3rd, and he's looking at up to 15 years or 20 years, which is
Yeah, 20 years. Yeah, I guess
20
both.
years. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess both
So
charges are hold a maximum of 10 years apiece.
okay. Okay, so
Mhm.
uh, Diddy being 55 years old, we really expecting him not to get much more time. I don't see him doing no more than about 2 more years.
Yeah,
Maybe, and like you say, he probably could probably walk.
yeah, he
Time
could
served.
probably walk with time served with him doing basically up to almost 90 days. We about 90 days out. Let's just say 90 days plus or something, maybe a little less or something. But
Yeah,
for
but
July,
but you would say his career in hip hop is over though.
I don't know, man. I don't know because we have got so far down the we didn't stoop so low.
So it's no telling.
Ain't no telling where, he's still gonna have a pocket to do something. Um and so I'm not gonna say he's completely done, but I would say that he's never gonna get looked at the same ever again by the world, because he
Yeah,
had his
bye.
he had his pocket when he would get on stage
Yeah.
and he would talk and it's Puff, you know what I mean? It's kind of like Puff kind of had like the Donald Trump effect as where he has his celebrity is outgrows anything he's done in the past. But obviously, what he's doing now is just kind of destroyed that because you people forget. I mean, I'm not saying people forget, but the Shine trial, the club shooting,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
a lot of the lyrics, because a lot of the clip farming that people are doing is based off of the videos and some of the songs that he did in the past, like the Get Money he had the Get Money remix on 50 song. He had some lyrics, about not being guilty. We know the song
Uh,
in, I think 2001 with G Dep that get this money. taking it from
Mm,
it. How he was not guilty. That whole song was based off that trial, because he beat him,
yeah,
So, a lot of those clips have been taken. A lot of, people are throwing them online like, yeah, Puff's already been saying this for years because, he already basically went through something like this. And when you beat
he
something
did.
like, and when you beat something like this, it's like, once again, going back to feeling untouchable, feeling like I can do whatever and people can feel any way they want to feel. I'm Puff. I'm bigger than the program. I
Is,
can do what I
is,
want.
is that just type A personality? Because Big U had that same complex where, hey, I pretty much can do what I want to do. You know what I'm saying? And
Hmm.
nobody's gonna say catch on, or the police. I'm just smarter than the police, or I'm too slick. I don't know what are these guys thinking? Because Puff
Nah,
really was out of
yeah,
touch, out of
yeah,
touch.
definitely. And like you said, it might just be a personality type. There are certain people that you know just think that they're not nothing is going to happen to them when they like consequences don't happen to them, and if they do happen, we're going to find a way out of the consequences. You know, like I'm always going to be cool, which is an okay kind of personality to have in certain instances. But man, you got to be rational. You get to the point where it's good to be confident. Like I get it, but bro,
Yep.
you get to a point to where you're irrational and you're not using your mind. But once again, man, it's a different type of. I think when you already had that type of personality, but then you get rich, somewhat basically wealthy. You
Yeah.
could go to your bank account and see hundreds of millions of dollars, or you have hundreds of millions of dollars worth of assets, and this. You're like, well, I mean, who's gonna tell me? Who's gonna tell me that I can't do this? Who's gonna tell me I can't have these freak offs? I can do what I want. Who's gonna tell me I can't fly these people in? Who gonna tell me that what girl? This girl can't tell me that she's not gonna do it. I'll tell her right now. I'll go across her face. You know what I mean? In his party. Puff, all the different thoughts in his, that he have in his mind. Oh, I don't care if the cameras is here. I'll say whatever. I'll do whatever. That gets to a point to where
Yeah.
you're not checking yourself. You're losing touch of what's going on. And once again, I think that's what just why he ended up in the situation he ended up with. Being facing was facing that Rico and facing all of that. Because you have to be able to sit back in the cut. Like, let's just be real. Who knows how to sit back in the cut? Jay-Z. Jay-Z ain't sitting in the
Mm.
cut.
Jay Z see
Jay
all these fools self destruct. He just watching these dummies. Like this
Jay-Z.
fool back behind the scenes, and then look, some news will pop out. Oh yeah, he's gonna do the halftime show at the Super Bowl, and then you won't hear anything else about him. Like it's like that nigga, man. He knows how to move. He just does.
Mhm. Yeah, he just knows how to move. Like he said what he say on the Rock La Familia album, show you how to move in a room full of vultures. I believe that was on the Rock La Familia. I don't know
Hmm.
for sure, but he already has that mindset. He's always going in with a chess mentality. Like he's playing chess,
Yeah,
he's not playing checkers type thing. And that's
and
what's
Diddy
kind
and
of
those types want to be out front, want to be the man. Let Dame want to be the man, want to
yeah,
be seen, heard by
yeah.
everybody.
Right, and Jay always was just looking at it. I want to win. Yeah, I like to be in front. Yeah, I want to be the star, but I know when to step back. I know when not to say
Mm,
anything. A good clip for Jay Z is when he brought Michael Jackson out for Summer Jam. I think in 2001, he brought Michael Jackson out for Summer Jam, and this is when he dissed my beat on Takeover or whatever, and he put Prodigy on the Summer Jam screen as a ballerina and stuff because I guess he
yeah.
did he was in the art school when he was a kid or whatever. So he
Hmm.
brings Michael Jackson in after that, but then they show like after the show, the whole Rockefellers in the back, they're all going crazy with Michael, and then Jay-Z's just there standing, looking like he ready to leave. He ready to go. He don't want to be there no more. He's ready to be done. You could tell then he checked out. He was ready to go to the next level and leave the rock and leave all that and go to the next level and boss up and become this big businessman without anybody else. And I'm willing to do whatever I got to do, but I'm gonna do it smart. I'm gonna chill. I don't need to always be the front man, you know.
Yeah,
And I think that's something that Puff needed to just, just chill a little bit, bro. You can still be Puff, but go missing for a year, 2 years. Let people not see
yeah.
you. You ain't got to be over here. You don't, take a break from a freak off party, from a white party. You got to have one every year. You
He was
can
trying to
chill.
rebrand. He tried to rebrand as Brother Love. Remember that?
Yeah,
Brother
yeah,
Love.
yeah. But he tried, yeah. But yeah, and it's crazy because Dirk tried to do the same thing before he got picked up. You know, Dirk tried to do the same thing. Made a song with J. Cole, All My Life, and
Yeah,
he tried to clean it up a little bit, and because he knew they were on his tail. But yeah, Puff. I think Puff should have just pumped the brakes, bro. If you pump the brakes a little bit, you ain't got to worry about too much. You got to stay in your lane, because once you don't stay in your lane, you're gonna have issues. And but once again, he's in a situation where he may be a free man come October. So I guess we'll see. It's definitely interesting, and
man, interesting, interesting.
the man definitely caught a break in something that most people will never ever be able to beat the United States government with, and that's a RICO.
Facts.
They're calling him John Gotti.
The
They're
gay
calling him
John
John.
Gotti. No, that's what 50 Cent said. He's like the gay John Gotti. And you know 50 is in the background trolling this whole situation. His baby mama name came up in the
uh,
situation, and it's all bad, man.
uh, uh,
So
uh,
billionaire beef, damn near half a
yeah,
billionaire
yeah,
beef.
yeah.
But yeah, we can leave it there, man. Till next time, Game Changer Podcast. Like, share, and subscribe. Peace.
Peace.